Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, we're taking a look back at some of our favorite stories throughout the years. A familiar face takes us on quite an adventure. This well-known gator boy is embarking on a new journey, hoping to bring you closer to these prehistoric reptiles. Plus, we head to Paradise Ranch in Mayaca, Florida, to learn about their mission to promote conservation for bears. And
yes, good boy.
We're in the field during an equine scent detection training session. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. We're in our 10th season of Animal Outtakes, and we're celebrating 10 years of bringing you stories from all over Florida. In our first look back, my very own fight or flight response was about to come out. I have handled many an animal during Animal Outtakes' 8-year run, but I never thought I would be handling a skunk.
Well, you're in for an experience.
I guess I am. And it just begs the question, why are we rescuing these guys?
Well, these skunks have been raised for pets now for a number of years. When the fur industry kind of went out, they went into more of the pet trade. So they are just like cats and dogs. People buy them from a pet store, decide, it may not be the pet for them. A lot of times, if they have a landlord and they don't ask, sometimes the landlord is afraid of the stigma that they're going to spray. But these guys have all been descended as pets. They have to be before they can be sold as a pet. And they are all bred on a breeding farm. There's several big ones out in Iowa, Indiana, and they breed them strictly for pets.
Why would I want a skunk as a pet?
Well, they make a really good pet. They're kind of like a cross between a cat and a dog. They know their names, so a lot of times they'll come when you call them, but sometimes they're like a cat and they won't answer you. But you shake the food and they'll be there. They're like a cat in the sense that they're use a litter box. You keep them indoors like an indoor cat. They're more lovable than most cats. I mean, I know there are some cats that are really lap cats, but these are definitely always like a lap cat.
They're not as fickle.
Yes, they're not as, that's the word I wanted, fickle.
And I've got Rascal here.
Yes.
And how old is Rascal?
Rascal
He will be 3 in April.
Now, how long is he going to live?
Pet skunks live anywhere between 8 and 12 years.
Okay, so you got a long way to go, pal. Yeah, yes, you do. And he's just holding my hand here. Everything is very, very good. Most of us spend our lives running away from these guys. Right. However, they're absolutely beautiful.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely gorgeous. Now, what do you feed them?
They're actually an omnivore, so they eat both meat and vegetation. So we give them a mixture of vegetables that we make into like a coleslaw consistency. And then they get some ground turkey or chicken for the protein. They'll get a little bit of sprinkle of cheese and some olive oil on their food, or some live or freeze-dried mealworms or superworms.
So they're eating well.
Yes, and eggs. You can feed them eggs.
They love eggs.
You love eggs,
yogurt,
huh?
cottage cheese.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ooh, cottage cheese too, huh? Now, I have to say, Rascal smells beautiful. You must have done something here.
Well, and they're actually in cats like cats in that sense, is they do keep themselves quite clean. The only time you get is a little odor is that when you maybe first get one as a baby, because they haven't been spayed or neutered yet. They're always descended but never spayed or neutered as a baby, and then once you do that, then all that smell goes away.
Well, we've had many interesting characters, but I must say, you take the cake. Yes, you do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If you are interested in adopting a domesticated, descented skunk, go to thefloridaskunkrescue.com for more information. And now we visit one of my all-time favorite guests. Jimmy Riffle is no stranger to reality television. The alligator wrestler is known for his part on the Animal Planet show, Gator Boys. We caught up with Mr. Riffle at his home in Central Florida. Jimmy, we're out here in this magnificent area. We're in Anthony, Florida, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
We still are in Florida.
We
right?
are. We are. Yep.
But you know, you have quite a history. I was used to watching you on television. Tell us about that experience for you.
Gator Boys was very exciting. It was a big part of my life, especially my later part of life. And, we had the opportunity to share at a national level our passion that we had for, what a lot of people are feared of is the American alligator. And we got to show people that they're not the man-eaters everybody thought they were. And, we rescued these animals and donate them to zoos and sanctuaries. And that's what we're doing here. We're trying to take in animals like that nobody wants to take in, that doesn't have a place to go. So it was a pretty cool time, that I lived.
Never missed a show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
But it just seems like you went from excitement and crazy and wild to this wonderful sedate environment. So tell us about what you're doing here.
Okay, yeah, so like you said, we're in Anthony, Florida. We're just out of Ocala. We're basically, Scales, Tails, and Teeth Wildlife Park is going to be a safe haven and home to many exotic animals, ranging from reptiles to different type of mammals. We're going to have tortoises and turtles and snakes and crocodiles and alligators and foxes and lemurs. We're just going to have a big variety of animals, but like I said, we're going to be that safe haven for these animals.
What made you decide to do this? We know that the Gator Boys was a huge success, and then you went out on the road and you took your program out on the road, but now you're back here doing this. And which is more rewarding?
Gator Boys was very rewarding in the sense to where when you have a 5-year-old come up to you and tell you that you're their hero, and I mean I never thought I'd hear those words from anybody. So it's a big responsibility to take that on, when kids are looking up to you. And with this, I'm hoping that we can, the next generation and generation after that, this will be a small, it's not on 100 acres. We're a 5-acre facility, and we just want to be very personal. We want to have conversations like you and I are having now, and, walk around and have one-on-one time, and you get up close personal with these animals. You can practically feel the alligator breathing on you. You don't get that at a multi-million-dollar facility. His name is Big Boy. Come, 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 come. Come. You can trust to a point. Right now he's in feeding mode. I wouldn't turn my back on him because he's in feeding mode. But before I got him in feeding mode, I would come in here and not pay attention to him. Come. Oh, he gave it back to me. You coming for it? Come on.
Oh my God, look at that head. Oh my God.
These alligators, they have lost their natural fear of man. And it's all because of being fed by people. And see, he's coming after this one. So once they lose that natural fear, then it becomes dangerous for people and that animal, that alligator. I do believe alligators are misunderstood. They are not the man-eaters that everybody makes them out to be. Right now, he has all the opportunity in the world to charge out at me and grab me. There'd be nothing I could do to get away from this animal at this moment. But he doesn't have that. He doesn't want to do that. Unfortunately, he has learned that I am food for him. So when I'm the one that gives him that food. Now, I'm not saying a mom alligator wouldn't chase you if she's protecting her babies. A gator that's fed, yes, they may come after you, but they're not running after you at 30 miles an hour. Doesn't happen.
So they literally do not bite the hand that feeds them?
Oh, no, they do.
Oh, do?
Oh, they
Okay.
do. Oh, yes. I've been bit 11 times by alligators. I've been hospitalized. I've almost lost fingers, almost lost top part of my hand. But a lot of times it's our mistake, you know? I mean, if I was right now feeding him and my hand went into his mouth, him being in a feeding mode, chances are he's going to try to roll and take my hand. But it's not because he wants to take my hand. He thinks it's what I'm feeding him.
So Jimmy, you've got, what is this, a gaggle, a pack? What is this?
This is a group of alligators. They're 4 to 5 feet in length. What I like to show in here, big example is, you know, when we were in with that big alligator, you know, nuisance alligators. You know, so a nuisance alligator is an alligator that's fed by people. So I'm gonna hand this to you for a minute. So right now you notice that they're really not coming over to me. They're not in a feeding response. Now this one's he's feeling it out. He's seeing if there's food involved. What I am gonna do, I'm gonna back him off in the water. So right now you notice no one's coming physically after us.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Because they're not in feeding mode. But as soon as something that they're used to happening, you know, a food response, if I throw this in, you're gonna start seeing a different group of alligators here. And then you'll start seeing how they're gonna react now. Even though I'm not offering food right now, they know the food's coming from me. So you're gonna start seeing how they're gonna start coming to me. You know, and this is one of the main reasons why an alligator would be killed and put down, you know, in the wild, is from people feeding that animal. You know, once you feed an alligator, you basically sign that alligator's death warrant. Coming out to a place like this or any nature facility in general, you know, you're getting away from those video games and your phones and technology. You know, go out and take a deep breath of fresh air, you know, get outside, do activities, go hiking, you know, go out and learn something, you know, especially when it revolves around our planet. And these animals that we have at this facility, a lot of them are native here to Florida, but then we also got reptiles from all different parts of the world. Every animal here plays an important role. You know, these animals are in captivity, you know, and you know, that's maybe by choice or not by choice, but you know, in the wild, the foxes, they play a major role. You know, the lemurs, they're native to Madagascar. They play a role in Madagascar. So, you know, learning that information about what that animal does from what part of the continent of the world it's from, in my opinion, is well worth the time going out and doing something like this.
Stick around. There's much more of my favorite moments after the break.
Good morning, Mr. Benson. Your breakfast is served.
Time for another day in doggy paradise. I sure am one lucky pup.
Mr. Benson, would you like to go out for your morning stroll? The weather is quite lovely today.
That sounds wonderful. Don't mind if I do. After all that exercise, I think I'd like to lounge by the pool and maybe dip my paws in.
As you wish, sir. Right this way.
Ah, what a perfect day. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else but Dante's Den while Mom and Dad are away.
At Dante's Den, we pride ourselves in providing the best experience for your beloved pup. Whether it be a day, a month, or a year, Dante's Den should always be at the top of your list for boarding. With an expansive campus, your dog will enjoy daily walks, pool time, and an endless supply of love. Even better, it's all under 24/7 supervision from our wonderful staff. If you're anything like us, your dog's safety and happiness come first. To learn more about Dante's Den, visit dantesden.org.
Paradise Ranch is home to the Weldy family bears. What began in Norway in 1926 as a fascination with bears has now grown into a bigger mission.
Come on over here, Ginger. She's almost 30 years old. She was born in our family. Sit, baby. Good girl. You got a kiss for Mama? Oh, thank you. Thank you, baby. You want a dog biscuit? My bears love dog biscuits.
Monica, we're here today in this magnificent and idyllic place called Paradise. Look who we've got watching us right here. Aren't they absolutely precious?
My family members.
Yeah. And you call them your old girls, but are they really?
Well, in the bear world, they would be considered old. Carol on the far right is 25 years old. And in the wild, that's about their lifespan on average. Ginger is almost 30 years old. So in bear world, yeah, they're a little bit up there.
And you know they're holding up well.
Yes, they're very agile. They're very active. They like to swim. They swim here in their little pools and they go to the pond. I take them over there. So they get to stay very active and they're doing real well. The veterinarian comes and checks on them so they get their checkups.
Things are good,
Yes.
yeah.
Here's my kisses. Thank you. Bambi and Bruno were used for Walt Disney's animated movie Brother Bear. They used them to make the characters Coda and Kenai. Hi, baby. Sit, 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 sit. Sit up, sit, sit, sit. Good boy. Sit up, sit up, sit up. There's my boy. Give me kisses. Mwah. Can you say you're happy you have visitors? Yes, you're clapping because you're so happy. This is my baby Bruno. Mwah. What a good boy. He loves dog biscuits too.
We've been with you so many times and we see these magnificent habitats.
Well, we have done some construction this last year with COVID. Due to COVID, we were shut down like everyone else. So we took advantage of that. Fish and Wildlife, which I'm licensed by here in Florida, they changed some of their laws and rulings. So I went from an 8-foot fence to a 12-foot fence with the 45 in. So while we did that, we also added this new bear house for the older girls. So this is where they live now. And then the pond, we went all the way around the pond with the 12-foot all the way around so they have access to the full area there. My bears and I share a special relationship, a human-animal bond that you gain with trust, mutual love and respect. But we also share a partnership. Our job is together is to teach the public about bears and what they're facing in the wild today. There's 8 species of bears on our planet, Marcia, and 6 out of the 8 are threatened or endangered. That's due to man, loss of habitat, we all see that, and poaching. So if people don't see these animals up close in this type of environment or like a zoo type, you know, they don't get that respect and appreciation for the animal. You can't get that from a book or a computer screen. When you see them interact with myself, you gain a different type of appreciation. The intelligence and the beauty of these animals. And they gain an appreciation and maybe want to get involved in conservation. These animals are so intelligent. They need constant mental and physical stimulation. Think about bears in the wild. How are they mentally and physically stimulated? By using survival skills. They have to find food, shelter, mama bears protect their cubs. That gets their adrenaline pumping. But in human care, they need a lot of enrichment to compensate for that mental and physical stimulation. Well, having toys to play with is important. Even training, teaching them little things, behaviors is important. It stimulates them mentally, physically. Also, having a natural habitat where they can just be a bear for a while. You know, just be a bear. That's what we want our bears to be, a bear. But also, like I said, the relationship. The greatest form of enrichment is actually the relationship that we share with them. They thrive on the daily physical contact, loving, petting, communication. Just like your pets at home, they want to love and attention. So do my bears. They know I love them. They know if you fear them. They're very smart.
For more information on Paradise Ranch, you can go to their website or find them on social media. Stick around, there's much more Animal Outtakes after the break. To continue our look back, we now turn our attention to Peace River Canine Search and Rescue. It was established in hopes of helping families find peace. The Southwest Florida nonprofit provides highly trained teams to help find missing or lost people.
Papa?
And he's going to go through and he's going to put his nose on the one that has the odor on it. Yes, good boy. And so you saw he went through the carpets and he picked out the ones that were negative, and then he picked out the one that was positive.
Mike, we know about the dogs and this and the dog centers, so as to speak, and they are just right on the money.
Incredible.
But now we have the horses, thanks to you.
Yeah.
How do they fare out with the dogs?
So far, they are nose to nose with the dogs, and they seem to be doing a really good job. We were concerned at first. We didn't know how well it would work, and we weren't sure how to train them, because I know how to train dogs, but does that training theory move over to horses? And so far, it's worked incredibly well. So they're doing a great job.
Why did you come up with that idea?
We have a problem in Florida because it's hot here. And as I tell people who in search teams of other parts of the country out west, you know, they have these beautiful forests and open areas that they search. I say, come to Southwest Florida. It's Jurassic Park down here. I mean, we've got every critter known to man out there trying to get you. Gators and pythons and snakes and panthers, and we're dealing with all of that in abundance. And then on top of that, we've got these dogs that have to work in the heat. And the dogs do a fabulous job, but in the summertime, you know, they'll get one or two sectors where they can search 30 minutes to an hour in these heavy palmetto forests that we have here, and they're cooked, they're done, and they run out of gas, and we got to put them back in their crates, put a fan on them, cool them down, try to recharge them. That takes an hour, hour and a half to do that. So one of the ways that we did that was combating that was by having a large inventory of dogs. So we had the first run team out, 6, 7 dogs in their sectors running, and a sector is a mile square for us, 60 acres. And then when those dogs came in, after they were finished, we had the second group, and they would go out and take over while the other group rested. And we tried to do that, but we just didn't get the coverage that we wanted to get. So we started working on the horses from just a perspective of having them grid search in the what we call the outer containment line, which is, you know, we figure he's moved, we're going to be a half a mile out, so we set up a containment line and we work the horses from the containment line back, and they're grid searching through the woods. They are much better at the palmettos. They're taller, they can see over the palmetto. The riders are above the palmettos, they can do it. And when we started training them, the thing that always amazed me with the horses is when we were doing positive and negative areas, meaning the positive area has a person hiding in that area. As soon as we lined the horses up, they knew there was somebody in that area. Before they even started going in there, they knew that guy was in there every time. And I'm like, how do they do that? Is this some kind of psychic ability that they have? I mean, what is going on with this? And we noted, we started messing around with the wind, putting them upwind versus downwind and seeing the changes. And we realized that it's an odor issue, that they're picking up the odor as soon as they get into the sector of where the person is. And I'm thinking, why can't we use that to our advantage?
It's really exciting, and horses have a sixth sense. A lot of people don't understand this, but if you put a horse in the field, they can sense danger, a snake, a wild boar, whatever it is. They know there's something there. It's just a sixth sense, and what we're doing is we're fine-tuning that, so to speak.
So on the live find stuff, the horses picked up very quickly that they knew the guy was in there. They would walk right up to him on their own. They'd say, hey, he's right here, Mom, here he is, you know, and they did that on their own without us having to really teach it to them. So I thought, well, where we really need the help is in these human remains recovery searches that we do, because there's huge areas, you know, like Ocala Forest and out here, and we need something that can work in a large area. Whereas the dog's good for 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the outside temperature, the horses can go 4, 5, 6 hours, and they can cover a lot of turf. And so we started experimenting with scent imprinting them on human remains, and we found that they were very receptive, and they started working it. So we have them coming up, putting their nose right on the target odor and showing you right where it is, and they have been loving it. So we've had a lot of fun with it. For us at Peace River, it's all about the family, and the family's missing somebody, and we want to get them home. And doing recovery work with the dogs is wonderful, and the dogs are great at it, but they're limited in how much work we can get out of them. And that's where the horses are going to pick up that other stretch and bring them home. So I feel better at the end of the day when we do a search and the horses and the dogs are out there. I feel like we really gave it a good search. And it's a marvelous thing to see. You know, they're definitely part of the team now.
Yeah.
Good girl. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Good Hoppa. Good Hoppa. Did you see her ears, Mike? Yeah. Did you see her ears and her head snap? Yeah. That was awesome.
She really got it.
That was awesome. For more information about this program or how you can help, you can log on to their website. And we'll be right back. We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. And we'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some engaging encounters. Until then, thanks for watching.
That's all
Like
right.
you
I
said,
haven't
this
lost
is
anybody in
exciting.
2 weeks. We're doing really good.
Don't worry,
we'll see.
I'll take care of your kids.